Thing is so prominent as football. Doak Walker, Earl Campbell, Eric Dickerson. A select few have had all the eyes of Texas upon them. Meet the newest Lone Star star. Tony Dorsett's collegiate rushing mark crumbled under Ricky Williams' feet, along with 19 other NCAA records. He ran away with the Heisman Trophy. And so Ricky Williams joins a group of Texans whose legacies have all passed through the Cotton Bowl. None more prominently than Doak Walker's. 50 years ago, this stadium expanded twice to meet the demands of Walker's popularity. He was the first Heisman winner to play in this classic. In short, this is the house that Doak built.
What I saw in him is what I wanted to be, a great athlete, but also a great person.
A half-century later, Ricky twice won the award that bears Doak's name, and they forged a lasting friendship. When Walker passed away this fall, Williams wore number 37 on his back, dedicating the game, the season, to his friend.
I pointed to my number, and I pointed up to the sky because I knew Doak was watching me.
They were separated by 2 generations, yet they were soulmates, equals in history, friends by destiny, a relationship larger than life. But after all, this is Texas, where everything is larger than life. Today is Doak Walker's birthday, and there's a party at his house, the biggest one in Texas. Ricky Williams is the guest of honor. Happy birthday, Doak Walker, and Happy New Year to you. Welcome to Dallas, Texas, for the 63rd annual Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic. It is cold, it is damp, it is foggy. Heck, it's 1999. Take a look at our matchup here this afternoon for the Big 12. The Texas Longhorns from the SEC, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And welcome to the broadcast booth, everyone. I'm Joe Buck. You take a look at this matchup, you take a look at the 2 head coaches. For the Texas Longhorns, first-year head coach Mack Brown. What a great first year. He came in hoping for 6 wins, calling 7 a miracle. He gets 8. Now he's staring at a new 10-year contract. And for Mississippi State, how big is this game for them? And for head coach Jackie Sherrill, as they play in their biggest New Year's Day Bowl since 1941. And I welcome in my partner, Bill Moss, as you look at the picture for the 1941 Orange Bowl Classic. And you look at Mississippi State, a big day for that program. But we'll start with Texas, and we'll start with Mack Brown. Maybe his biggest accomplishment so far is convincing Ricky Williams to stick around for his Heisman year.
Yeah, it's probably his biggest recruit. Not a bad guy to have on your team when you just walk into a program. Now, the thing about Ricky Williams is everyone thinks Earl Campbell, the power back. There's a lot more to him than that. He has some maneuverability about him. So as a defensive tackle, when you come up on him, you're thinking, brace yourself for the run game, the power game, and then all of a sudden he slips by you. It's a tough tandem to handle. But then you talk about the 27 touchdowns, the Heisman Trophy, all those yards. You can't do that without some help around you. And he has that in the form of a big, huge offensive line. They outweigh the Mississippi State Bulldogs defensive line by over 30 pounds a man. And then, of course, you get the fullback, Ricky Brown, leading the way, blowing things up, and he makes it all happen for him up front.
He does. Ricky Williams really credits Ricky Brown with a lot of his success this year. Let's take you down outside the Texas Longhorns locker room and our own SUZY KOLBER. SUZY?
And Joe, how rare is it to find a big-time college football player who's willing to put the big bucks of the NFL on hold to play in his senior season? And it wasn't like it was an easy decision, but the bottom line was that Ricky Williams, as a boy, didn't dream of playing in the NFL. He dreamed of playing college football and enjoying all the things that college football brings. You know, more than anything, Ricky wants to be talked about the same way people talk about Doak Walker. Well, he's well on his way because Ricky Williams represents everything that is good about college football.
This is Williams.
What a run. He's gone.
Here goes Williams.
Touchdown, Ricky Williams.
When I came here 3 years ago, I set personal goals and goals for the team that I thought we could achieve. And I also wanted to get my degree from the University of Texas, and that's why I'm going to stay here 1 more year.
I understand being an athlete, at this level, a lot of kids look up to me. And I knew when I made the decision that a lot of kids were going to look at me and say, wow, maybe staying in school is a really good thing. And if I can do it, they can do it. So hopefully they'll look at it that way and follow my example. You're a role model, whether you like it or not. And I love kids. I want to be a teacher, so, you know, it works out great for me. I have a chance to reach kids that would normally not listen to someone, you know, to a teacher or someone like me. But the fact that I'm an athlete, you know, their eyes are wide open and they're listening.
Ricky Williams has the record, and he has the touchdown.
L Kings and 53. That's my favorite play, 53.
Backs are offset, Brown and Williams.
So before the play, I look up at the scoreboard and, you know, and the 11 yards to break the record.
Handoff, Williams up the middle, running for yardage. He's at the 50.
And he misses the tackle, and I open my eyes and I'm looking. I'm in the open field, so I'm like, oh God, I want to break the record.
And he cuts back at the 10, 5.
I fall in the end zone, and I realized that I just broke this record, and I did it in historic fashion with a 60-yard touchdown in the biggest game of the year.
Ricky Williams gets the record, gets the touchdown, and I dare say the Heisman Trophy on one run.
The Downtown Athletic Club is proud to award the 1998 Heisman Memorial Trophy to Ricky Williams of the University of Texas.
Well, it didn't really hit me until I was in New York, you know, receiving the trophy, and I met, you know, all the old trophy winners, and it would just kind of hit me that I was in the same category as all these great names were. He was like a great football player, you know, really clutch football player. You know, he could punt, pass, kick, run, he could do it all. But what impressed me the most was he was really humble and really selfless, and the way he lived his life was really, you know, impressed me a lot. What I saw in him is what I wanted to be, you know, a great athlete, but also a great person. I mean, it's all very ironic to me, you know, the fact that, you know, Doak won the Heisman 50 years ago, and now I'm playing, you know, in the Cotton Bowl, the house he built on his birthday, and, you know, in Dallas, and it's all going to be really emotional for me, and hopefully I can go out there and live up to all the expectations and go out there and show Doak that, you know, one last time I'm playing the Cotton Bowl, I'm going to do it for him again.
Coach Mack Brown made an exception to the no pictures on the lockers rule so Ricky could always look at Doak. Another thing they share, Ricky Williams, only the 4th Heisman Trophy winning running back to play in the Cotton Bowl. And as you can see, these guys come to play. And for everything that Ricky has accomplished, he still has something to prove. He's 0-2 in bowl games, and you can bet that MSU D will be out to get him. For a lot of these guys, it's their last college football game. What a crowning achievement to stop the Heisman Trophy winner. Joe?
All right, Suzy, thank you very much. And that's all well and good. You can try to stop Ricky Williams. A lot of teams have tried to do that. But if that's all you're thinking about, this Texas team will carve you up.
Well, you're exactly right. You know, you defensively, you start thinking, okay, we got to get the big guy. You got to stop the big guy. We got to fly in there, make some plays. And then all of a sudden you forget about the other components. And for Texas, they come in the form of the freshman quarterback, rated #1 amongst freshman quarterbacks, Major Applewhite. He, to me, is the difference because Texas had Ricky Williams last year. They didn't have Major Applewhite, and they have 8 wins this year. And he gets the ball outside to his wide receivers. Kwame Cavill, #9, and Wayne McGarity, a flashy, exciting receiver to watch. And these two guys are the leading Texas tandem in the school history in receiving. So you think about it and you think, well, yeah, you have Ricky Williams, and yeah, you have to stop him. But ironically, Mississippi State says, we've got to stop the pass.
Well, is that, in fact, the case? Is Mississippi State saying that? Let's go down back outside the locker room in our own Ron Pitts. Ron?
Yeah, they are, Joe Buck. I tell you what, they figure Ricky Williams is going to get his. They want to stop the big pass by Texas. That's how they've been beating people. Now, lost all in this Heisman stuff is a great running back for Mississippi State, James Johnson. All SEC, rushed for 1,000 yards last year, 1,000 yards this year. Big, strong, powerful. He can make the big run exciting to watch. Quarterback, very young, Wayne Madkin, redshirt freshman, 19 years old. He can make the big plays, got a good arm. He just hasn't seen a lot. Texas could confuse him early with some disguises. Now, Jackie Sherrill seems to always say the right thing at the right moment. This is what he said to his team just a few moments ago in the locker room.
No problem. Guys, you started this over 12 months ago. And this is the end, and you guys have worked so hard to put yourself in this situation. Here's some reminders now. Like I told you last night, you play for the moment. Now is the moment. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week. Right now is the moment.
Right now. It's time to do it. Back up to Joe Buck. Joe, you played with a guy who's heard some comments from Jackie Sherrill.
Absolutely. This man right here, he played for Jackie Sherrill back at Pitt. We get ready for Mississippi State. We get ready for Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Coming up next. That fog, that smoke. And coming out of the smoke, the Texas Longhorns.
What do they say about smoke? When there's smoke, there's
fire.
Yeah, and there's that burnt orange jersey.
Well, we already talked about Mack Brown in his first year. There's the Heisman Trophy winner, Ricky Williams, a team that went 8-3 overall, 6-2 in the Big 12, and here they are, a major step for a program that needed a little bit of life. The defense really turned around for the Texas Longhorns. And Mack Brown, they're talking about a 10-year deal for this man. That's what they think of Mack Brown. And they hope not to lose him to the next level. There's talk of some of that, and there's a guy who's going to start the next level, Ricky Williams, who for the last time lining up with his Texas teammates in that Texas Longhorns jersey. There's Mack Brown coming here from North Carolina, and here comes Ricky Williams and friends out for the coin toss. The seniors walking out. At midfield, the children of Doak Walker. This is the 50th anniversary of the Heisman year for Doak Walker, who starred here in Dallas at SMU and then in Detroit in the NFL. He is an NFL Hall of Famer. As we mentioned, they 2 times had to expand this stadium because of his popularity. And this would have been his 72nd birthday. Let's listen in.
The Longhorn is heads. The Bulldog is tails. Tail. It is tail. You have the tail.
Mississippi State wins the toss. They have deferred. Mention the children of Doak Walker, Russ, Scott, Chris Walcott, and Laurie Hunt.
And you talk about Jackie Sherrill, we mentioned at the top of the show, and you said I played for him. That's some of the stuff that he does to talk to his team, to get them fired up. Defer it, put your defense out on the field first, and get after Ricky Williams right off the bat.
That is what will happen. At least that's what Jackie Sherrill hopes will happen. Get after Ricky Williams. We'll come back with a kickoff. The 63rd annual Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic in a minute.
Coverage of the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic is brought to you by Southwestern Bell. Southwestern Bell is your friendly neighborhood global communications company. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. And by Coors Brewing Company and your local Coors distributor. 21 means 21.
You got to show that guy with no shirt and no muscles. Before you show the weather, 43 degrees. Winds out of the southwest. Texas no longer out of the southwest. It's now the Big 12. 6 to 8 miles per hour. Cold front arriving later. And there's the kickoff team. They're a little juiced up here, Bill.
And that's the whole thing about the college deal. You know, you come out, the guys are holding hands, the camaraderie, the fellowship. I mean, that's what, to me, college football is all about. And it's exemplified here in a classic bowl game, the Cotton Bowl, one of the greatest of all times.
Jeff Walker will kick it away. With Jeremy Jones and Ryan Nunez back for Texas. The booming kick out of the back of the end zone. Over the head of Jeremy Jones, and Texas will start at their own 20. We highlight the freshman, the red-shirted freshman quarterback, Major Applewhite, the #1 rated freshman quarterback in the nation, 14th overall, and he is protected by an experienced and a large offensive line anchored by Russell Gaskamp in the middle. He is the center and a difference maker with this front for Texas. And then you look at the skill positions with Ricky Williams, Ricky Brown in the backfield. The receiving combination, McGarity and Cavill, and the tight end is Derek Lewis. Will he get it on the first play from scrimmage? A little rollout from Major Applewhite, and the throw bounces in incomplete to Wayne McGarity. So they start with play action. They don't give it to Ricky Williams, and it was pretty well covered by this Mississippi State defense up front. Kenwan Smith in the middle. He's only 5'11", 259, if that. And you look at very active and athletic linebackers. They have the linebackers slash safeties flying around in the defensive secondary, ranked #1 in the SEC, anchored by the free safety Eric Daniel, the corners Kendall Robertson and Robert Bean. 2nd down and 10. Blitz coming, and in the backfield, Ricky Williams will take a seat. Edward Smith.
Eddie Smith, that's what this defense does. They show all different kinds of fronts, and what it does is it confuses the offensive line blocking. Here's Eddie Smith. Watch him. He's right in here, and watch him shoot the gap. That's what they do. Everybody has a gap responsibility. Now, the offensive line can't pick up where everybody's coming from all the time. Those two dog positions where Tim Nelson's playing and Ashley Cooper, what that in actuality is 2 more strong safeties.
And now 3rd and 15 as you look at Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator from Mississippi State. From the shotgun, it's Applewhite. Steps up and he'll run. Hit and dropped well short of the 1st down. Knocked down at the 25, 5 yards short. Brought down by John Hilliard.
And you talk about the deferral from Jackie Sherrill on the kickoff, and it worked, Joe. I don't think Texas was expecting it to come out and have that defense flying around from Mississippi State, getting in their face right away. And it works because now it's setting a tempo. And that's what football is all about from the get-go, is setting a tempo. Mississippi showing they've come to play.
Ryan Long will punt it away for Texas with Kevin Prentice, a weapon back deep for Mississippi State, and it is an ugly punt. Prentice on the hop will take it and basically call timeout short of the 45-yard line. And that's where Mississippi State will start with it. And what a terrific start for the Bulldogs as you look at their redshirt freshman about to walk out, Wayne Madkin. He's from Huntsville, Alabama. Had to go through speech lessons to improve the voice. He gets physically ill before every start, but that's no reflection on this offensive line. Eric Allen, the senior, in the middle, a big right guard in Randy Thomas. James Johnson, 1,000-yard back in the backfield for Mississippi State. Blocking for him from Dennis McKinley. You look at Cooper and Prentice, and the tight end, a good one, Reggie Kelly. 1st down from their own 44. Play action on the other side now as Madkin tries to find somewhere to go with it.
You got a mouthpiece.
Hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. A mirror image of how we started on the other end of the field.
Well, that's because you see those 8 men up. When you have strong running games, you bring up the safety, and you have 8 men in the box.
The defensive line for Texas, Sean Rogers and Casey Hampton in the middle. They're big and they're good. Aaron Humphrey is at one end with Cedric Woodard at the other. The linebackers, the senior, the leader on this defense, Dusty Renfro, is right in the middle. You look at the cornerbacks, Tony Holmes and Joe Walker. Quentin Jammer and Donald McCowan in the middle. Dusty Renfro is wearing number 60. Typically, he wears 46. He's doing that in honor of former longtime assistant coach Mike Campbell, former defensive coordinator for Darrell Royal. The toss, this is J.J. James Johnson over the left side, picks his way across the 45, where he's brought down by DeAndre Lewis. He had help from Tyrone Jones, a gain of 4.
You know, you want to work the outside perimeter against this Texas group, get them bunched up inside. And watch number 65, Craig Moore out here. He comes and he seals off this thing. Watch him. The big fella comes in there. He turns it in right there. Cedric Woodard, Dusty Renfro get caught inside, and that's where you want to attack the outside edges of this Texas thing. The strength of their defense is in the middle with Woodard and Casey Hampton.
3 wide receivers in the lineup for Mississippi State. With Kevin Prentice out wide to the right at the top of your screen. And the shotgun, the freshman Madkin. Throwing short, his receiver had fallen down. That was Cooper, and there is no penalty flag on the play. Madkin wants the flag.
Sure he
Cooper
does.
had fallen down,
sure
and they're not going to get the flag.
Well, watch number 7, McGowan. Right here, they switch it up, and it comes across the field. Now, right there, McGowan gets a piece of him, bang, as the ball's in the air.
Should have been a flag. There was no penalty marker. And now Jeff Walker, a very good punter, one of the better punters in the country, will kick it away for Mississippi State.
Lost in the fog.
Hodges Mitchell waiting back. And with a fair catch inside the 15-yard line. We understand it's a packed house. We're going to have to take their word for it. We can't see the upper tank here across the field. Back in a minute.
We got to see them at some of the functions, and hey, there's some big boys. But, you know, Tennessee had some big boys, but these guys look like they're probably a lot bigger than Tennessee, and they look like they're more powerful. So,
you know, we'll have to just basically use the things we got, our speed and agility and things like that, just beat blocks and get off blocks and hopefully just slow down Ricky.
Well, there's the numbers right there, 63 pounds per man. And for Kevin SLUDER in that Mississippi State front, every offensive line is big compared to those guys.
Yeah, it is a rather small defensive front for Mississippi State, but they're active. As you look at Ricky Williams run into a wall.
Hey, I'm telling you, that Mississippi State, they're coming from every direction. They're hitting the gaps. They're lining up right on the man, and then they're shooting gaps. Every gap is filled, and there's no place to run. Take a look inside. If you're a running back, where are you going to go here? White shirt, white shirt, white shirt, white shirt, and then the tackle. And then, you know, Edward Smith again. Edward Smith loves shooting those gaps and blowing things up in the backfield.
Applewhite will throw on second down. This is Cavill, and he is tripped up immediately. Brought down by Larry Campbell. And I was about to say before this series began for Texas, 3 and out for each side, but the Mississippi State defense did it with a little more flair than on the Texas side.
Because they're aggressive, Joe. I mean, it's a fun defense. There's Joe Lee Dunn. Notice he doesn't have any headsets on. And he's out there.
Or a coach.
That's a defensive coach for you. You know, he's out there with the felt. He wants the feel of the game. After the series is over, then he'll talk to somebody upstairs, but he wants to get the feel of what his players are feeling.
3rd down and 6 for Major Applewhite in Texas. Another throw out of the backfield. Ricky Williams breaks one tackle, tiptoes down the sideline, and gets the first down. Forced out of bounds by John Hilliard, but it was Ricky Williams bouncing off one tackler to get the first down.
Well, that's the power aspect of Ricky Williams. See the little flare pass? Now, Ashley Cooper comes up and closes on him right away. He's there, bang. But see, that's the power. That's the thing about Ricky Williams that everybody talks about when they talk about Earl Campbell and what he can do. He's got that physique about him. He's got that strength that tacklers sometimes just bounce right off him.
Gain of 8. 1st and 10 from their own 25 for Texas. Ricky Williams, big hole left side. He fights his way to the 35. And it looks like he picked up, and he did, another Texas first down.
And like we talked about before, there's more to him than just the power aspect. He has patience back there. He has maneuverability. Watch him come here. Now watch the patience. He waits and waits and waits and bangs. He sees it, and you see the explosion he has. He gets to use both, and then again he comes back to the power. So it's that tandem of things that make him such a good running back.
Ricky Williams checks out. It's Hodges Mitchell in the backfield for Texas now behind Major Applewhite, and he gets the toss running right. From the backside, a big hit put on. And that was Tim Nelson, who came down from the backside and closed that play in a hurry.
Well, you know, we talked about the dogs, and then this is one of the dogs, Tim Nelson. Now, why are you talking about dog? Watch him come from over here. Now, this is dog because the play is going that way. And dogs never quit. Look at him, keeps coming. He flattens down the line, and boom, blows the whole thing up. And these dogs, like I said, are actually a hybrid linebacker, strong safety, but more along the weight class of a strong safety.
A gain of only 1, 2nd down and 9. Applewhite to Ricky Williams. Out of the backfield, what a catch, and then what a play. What a play by Nelson again.
Yeah, I mean, there's Nelson again, the dog guy, 2 plays in a row, and he's showing the other dog guy, Ashley Cooper, how you have to handle it, because he's out there. Remember, you got Ashley Cooper, they ran over. He's the other dog position. Now here comes Nelson, and he's out there on the little flare pass. You've got to stay with him and wrap up, and when you start sliding out, make sure you grab those legs. That's the whole thing. See that arm? That arm's around his legs. You take his legs away. That's the thing.
3rd down and 8, and 4 wide receivers check in for Texas. Mississippi State bringing the blitz. Quick throw and incomplete to Nunez, and there were 4 or 5 Mississippi State defenders in the face of Major Applewhite. Penalty flag on the play.
You know, they said they wanted to come after Major Applewhite. They wanted to cause some problems with him, create some indecision in his decision making, and that's what they're doing.
And they came a little too quickly.
Campbell comes in there up on the line. Watch him come up here in the middle. There's Campbell, and his head's probably over the neutral zone right there. You saw him try to freeze it up, but look at the indecision in the offensive line. You come up there and they have their play called, and they've got their responsibility. Then all of a sudden, different bodies start shifting around. And then they start thinking, well, I got this, do I have that, or do I have that? Where are they going? And when you're an offensive lineman and you start thinking about where are they going, that's when you're in trouble.
3rd down and 3 now as Texas gets another crack at the 1st down, and Major Applewhite will change the play at the line. And hand to Ricky Williams. Bouncing off one tackler, fighting toward the 1st down, and he's brought down short. They needed 3. He got 2.5 as Cornell Menifee, along with Nelson again there to help bring him down.
Swarming. Swarming is the term you'd have to use for this defense. Watch the white jerseys and watch the flow. They're beat, they backdoor, and then they converge. They don't fight through the blocks because up front they're not big enough and powerful enough to do it. They backdoor and then they converge, and everybody's there around the ball.
Ryan Long will punt it away. Kevin Prentice. They'd like to keep it away from Prentice if they can. Beautiful punt by Long. Prentice with the return. Only 5'8", 150 pounds to the far side of the field. Gets a block, has the sideline. Kevin Prentice forced out of bounds right at the Mississippi State 40. A 44-yard punt, a 28-yard return. This is why they want to keep it away from Prentice. He gives Mississippi State good field position. No score, 1st quarter. Take a look back at 1963. The Cotton Bowl pitted LSU against Texas. The Tigers featured a platoon system at quarterback, including Lynn Amity, number 11. Amity ran, threw, and kicked his way to the Outstanding Player Award, scoring 7 points, even recovering a fumble in a 13-0 Tigers win. And he is the offensive coordinator for Lynn Amity, and now is fogged in just next to us somewhere to the left or right. Believe us, he's up here. 3rd year at Mississippi State, has fond memories coming back here to the Cotton Bowl. Wayne Madkin and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. James Johnson bouncing outside, breaks a tackle, gets to the 45. Nice gain on 1st down. He picked up 7.
You know, you have Fogg, maybe that Fogg's down there more than we see, because, see, he doesn't follow his tailback. He wants to cut it back up inside, but he takes it up inside, and it's not there. But it is outside. If he had gotten to the outside a little sooner, that thing could have gone for more than it did. He did a nice job of recognizing it, though. And I think with James Johnson, that's their guy. That's the bell cow for this team. As he goes, as goes the team.
2nd down and 3 for Mississippi State. An impressive start for the Bulldogs to this one. James Johnson in the backfield, Aaron Babineau. A loss of 1, 3rd and 4 coming up.
Babineau, 6'1", 215. Watch him right here, and it's just speed. He beats the fullback's block. Here's the fullback leading up there. He flattens down behind the fullback. Now, there's not many outside linebackers that are 215 pounds, but he gets the most out of it with his speed. That's his asset.
Look at the season for Babineau. You look at the game for James Johnson, 3 carries, 10 yards. And a 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs. Timeout called for by Madkin. Madkin will head to the sidelines, talk to Jackie Sherrill about this. 3rd and 4 when we come back. No score in Dallas. 3rd and 4 for Mississippi State, down working the Texas sideline is SUZY KOLBER. SUZY?
Joe, this is about the only seconds of peace that the Texas offensive line has gotten. Their coach, Tim Nunez, has been trying to make adjustments. They've seen lots of different things from this MSUD that they did not expect.
I think the biggest thing is the speed. I don't think they realize how fast those guys were. You know, you get the big offensive line, they like to maul people. You have the Heisman Trophy running back, and you think you can just lean on people, and all of a sudden you get an undersized defense and start shooting gaps and flying around. Makes you think twice about everything. Then it's really a problem.
3rd down and 4 for the Bulldogs, just shy of their own 45. Madkin back to put it up, has the far side of the field if he wishes. Fighting for the 1st down and getting it inside Texas territory, brought down by Donald McCowan.
You know, Joe, he talked about Madkin. He talked about Madkin and his voice and his coaching. He had to go through with a professor. There's Prentice. And that's the guy he likes to go to downfield. He looks for him, and you see the coverage. There's McGowan, Tony McGowan on him, and he's covered, so he takes it out the back door. But you talked about his voice. He's a young guy, and he's got a real high voice. And Jackie Sherrill got him with a speech coach, you know, to get a little bass in his voice. So when he gets in that huddle, he can command respect from the older guys.
First down, 10. Well, they just picked up 8 to get respect and a first down inside Texas territory as he gives to James Johnson. Cutting it back to the near side of the field as a first down brought down by McCowan at the Texas 35. And here comes Mississippi State marching down the field.
Well, you made the call, Joe. Cut back. Well, he cut it back, and that's what he did. He starts this thing flowing to the left, over here. Now watch all the defenders. They're over here, and then he comes out the back door. And when you're off balance and you're changing direction, see the defenders, they start left and they start right, and their bodies are all off balance, and they can't make the adjustment to slow him down when he has a full head of steam.
James Johnson, who has been bothered down the stretch by groin injuries and a tender left shoulder. Off to a good start here in the first quarter of the Cotton Bowl. Matt can play action down the middle of the field. That's Love, and it's a little too far.
Love and long.
Love and long. A little hurdle at the end and a wet track here at the Cotton Bowl.
You know, the first shot deep downfield. Jackie Sherrill called Kelvin Love his best athlete on the team. And it's his speed, and there he is on Joe Walker, and you just saw him take him deep, and that ball was just a little overthrown, and you get antsy. You know, you cross the 50-yard line, you have your running game going, and you take a shot, and the young redshirt freshman quarterback wants to go up top. He sees he has the play beat. Just a little too anxious.
And so far 0 for 3 for Matkin. A toss on second down. James Johnson has the far side of the field. Penalty flag on the play as Johnson is brought down at the 25 by McCowan.
Well, that's going to be a flag on Anthony Tapp, number 78, the right offensive tackle. He got up on the linebacker and just pulled him down.
There is a flag down on the play.
A gain of 9 on the play, but it looks like it will come back. And it will, as the referee Dan Blum talks to Dusty Renfro. No decision to be made here. You got to push him back. They just picked up 9.
Well, that's the defense. Isn't that the defense? Push him back, shove him back, way back. Yeah. That's the old college fight song.
10 yards.
Or the cheer, the college cheer. And you got the yell squad.
Yeah. The pom-poms away. Just for
they're out. The pom-poms are out. The bell cows are out. The crimson, the burnt orange. There's TD, Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, we're in bounds. I was over there.
He was at the luncheon yesterday and has had a nice relationship with Ricky Williams, the man who broke his all-time collegiate rushing record.
76. That record stood for a ton of years, and there's a lot of great backs that came out between 76 and now. Tell you what kind of back both these two guys are.
Second down and 22. Matkin thinking about running, floats it, had a man wide open. Kevin Cooper overthrown, and he had no one around him.
Yeah, well, you see what happens is when you have a quarterback like Matkin who picked up the first down before on scrambling, and he steps out of the pocket. When he steps out of the pocket, then see your defenders start coming up, see him come up, and then you leave the tight end alone out here. And again, Matkin had an open receiver, and the youngsters right now is just a little too anxious. And hey, that happens with quarterbacks. You know, it comes to mind Brett Favre early in his pro career. Brett, you know, in the first quarter of games when he had his guys, he'd always throw high or throw over their heads, and he just needs to settle down. And see Johnson just hit him. He says, hit him in the head, settle down. It's there.
Third down and 22 now. Matkin does have time, completes his first pass of the game to Prentice, but he is brought down way short of the first down at the Texas 39, a gain of 8. Dusty Renfro, the middle linebacker, was out there to make the stop.
Number 60.
Prentice walks off a bit banged up, as now it's fourth down for Mississippi State.
Dusty Renfro on the defensive work.
Okay, now here you go. Here's what we have. Now watch what they have here. They keep their offense out there. Now watch what they're going to do. This is like the offense, but it's a punt because it can be an option. Matt Wyatt comes in at quarterback. See Matt Wyatt, number 7, and he goes back here. Now he's going to have the option to punt, pass, or run.
It's away, it's away, it's away.
Let me see what it does. You have to keep your defense out there, and then you get them down like that. That's what that thing does, because you have to keep the #1 defense on the field and not your punt return team.
Have you ever seen a backup quarterback who didn't get in to throw the ball that jacked up? Texas takes over at their own 3. Jackie Sherrill called Kevin Prentice pound for pound the best athlete on the field today. Well, they may have lost him for a while after this play.
To the nation, he said. He said, this little guy, and there you see, you're looking on this. You got to sit on both shoulders. And you push both shoulders together. You squeeze him, a little guy. Popped him. Yeah, he popped him on both sides, and we're looking at his wrist, his arm, his shoulder.
That is a significant injury for Mississippi State. Blitz coming. Wow. Menifee gets a hand on Ricky Williams in the backfield. Ricky breaks it out across the 15 for a Texas first down.
Cornell Menifee is sick right now. You know, you get a shot in the backfield, nearly a safety on the Heisman Trophy winner in a big bowl matchup like this in front of the world. Watch. There he is right there, and he's got the wrap up. And then there's the power. You've got to make sure you get a piece of his legs when you're going down to the ground. Otherwise, you'll just slide right down his body. And so far, it's true to form. It's the power in his structure that if you don't bring him down to the ground, if you just slide down and don't wrap those legs up, he's going to break it, and he's going to pick up a lot of yards off it.
First and 10 after a gain of 14. Williams has 22 yards in this first quarter. Quick throw, and Cavill can't hang on. Tight throw, and Applewhite put it right in there, and Cavill could not make the connection. You know, you're talking about a freshman as you watch Kevin Prentice walk off. A freshman in Major Applewhite, who's not your typical freshman. From an early age, he and his father made the decision that he was going to be a collegiate quarterback, and he went to, and the jury's out on this, anywhere from 19 to 20 to 26 quarterback camps as he was growing through high school. And he comes in a very polished redshirt freshman. Ricky Williams gets met at the 20. He fell forward for a gain of 2, but hit hard that time by Barron Simpson. Let's take you down to the sideline, working the Mississippi State side. Ron Pitts.
Yeah, Joe, Kevin Prentice came to the sideline in excruciating pain, hit the ground. He hurt his right elbow. They took his pads off. They're going to take him in for an x-ray right now. We'll let you know more when we know more. Back up to you, Joe.
All right, Ron, thank you. A gain of 3 by Ricky Williams brings up a 3rd down and 7. This drive started back at the Texas 3. Blitz coming, and Mississippi State came across the line too quickly.
Oh, you talk about the experience of Applewhite and that he's no ordinary freshman, and that is the case. There's Ellis Wims, sophomore, pulled off sides by Applewhite. I mean, it was Applewhite in the hard count and his experience, and you said he's no ordinary freshman. He is.
5-yard penalty.
He is well schooled in mechanics. Going to all those camps, he has that poise about him. He's been around it, so he knows. Now watch these guys. These guys start jumping up in here, here, and then the hard count, and draws Ellis Wims.
That was Wims, and instead of 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 2. Second offside penalty on the Mississippi State defense here in this first quarter. Coming up on 3.5 minutes left to play. No score, and Ricky Williams over the left side. Knocked down near the first down marker, hit by Ellis Wims, who just drew the penalty.
Well, you know,
and we'll see where they marked it.
The big guys up front are starting to sustain a little bit now.
It's a first down for Texas as Williams got it by half a yard.
Roger Rachel right here, big 72. He gets up on the linebacker there. Now, when you get a hold of those speedy guys and get engulfed, that's the thing, sustaining blocks. Now, on the other side, Mississippi State's trying to get off. Watch 72 right here. And watch him come up. Bang. Barron Simpson right there. And he gets a piece of them, enough of them to engulf them to get that 1 or 2 yards they need for the first down.
He got a couple, got a first down. Mississippi State showing it again, and the give off the right side. This is the fullback, Ricky Brown.
That's a rare carry.
Ricky Brown got the ball, brought down by Bert Kesey, picked up 8, and you're looking at a young man, a junior, who had only 10 carries during the regular season.
And they give him a bone every now and then. But you see this right here. There's Williams outside as a decoy. Now, they hit it up inside. Now, you can make a play off that where you fake the belly again and then turn around and pitch to the outside. So you're inviting the outside linebacker in to the fullback.
2nd down and 2. Over the left side, Ricky Williams will get the edge, get the first down, knocked out of bounds across the Texas 40. And you talked about the power already. Now you look at the 4.55 40 speed as he got the corner and just blew past the outside linebacker.
Yeah, and I think all those things combined, and that's what you get. You get all those records. You get the Heisman Trophy. You get the 75 touchdowns. You get, you know, all the things, all those 200 yards, 11 200-yard games, number one. And with the speed, the power, and the maneuverability of this guy, and that's what makes him so lethal to a defense.
But you're also looking at a guy who's a bit worn out. I mean, we sat down with him, and he just looked tired and admitted that he was worn out. Looking forward to going to the Hula Bowl and Hawaii just to catch a break. I mean, this is rock star stardom for this guy.
Well, Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator from Mississippi State, and the defenders from Mississippi State sure hope he's tired.
First down for Texas. Blitz coming. Play action pass. Applewhite down the middle of the field, looking for McGarity. Caught it. Touchdown, Texas. Wayne McGarity, who has suffered three devastating knee injuries, worked his way back every time. The senior gets the first points of this Cotton Bowl. And now for the extra point, Stockton knocks it through.
Wayne McGarity just outruns the coverage. Now, first thing, there's good protection up front here. Look at the time he has, and then it's just downfield. And what you have there actually is Kendall Robertson had pretty good coverage, but the safety in the middle of the field never came over. See, Robertson, he knows he has inside help, but look, there's no inside help back there. He's playing catch-up. That's Eric Daniel.
That capped a 97-yard drive.
Eric Daniel, what he saw, he tried to jump the underneath when he saw Derek Lewis, number 82, crossing the field, and he stepped up to try to cover him and left his corner in a bind. And with Wayne McGarity, his determination, he's going to find a way. You give him a chance like that, and he'll find a way. As you talked about, Joe, 3 reconstructive knee surgeries. That's not just 3 knee operations. They're total reconstruction. And as a football player, you have those kind of injuries. You know, one of them is tough to battle through. You have 3, and that's really saying something about anybody that comes back and has the determination to fight through those things.
And really a charming young man who plays for pride and plays to make his mother, his mom, Demita, back in San Antonio proud, his grandma, his grandpa, and he has been rewarded for a lot of hard work. Worked his way back in, was unhealthy during spring football, and here he is getting the first points of the 63rd annual Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl.
You know, captain of the team, first ever 1,000-yard receiver.
Big Prather is back now, replacing Prentice. And Prather will take it from just outside the Mississippi State 5 and slide down as he crossed the 15, brought down at the 18-yard line. What a story, Wayne McGarity, from his mouth, coming back from the knee injuries.
When you're out there and you're by yourself out there rehabbing, you know, you're with the doctors, all the trainers, you know you're working hard, but the people, they just say, oh, he won't be back next year, he won't be the same player. So you take that as a challenge, you know, and for me, each time it happened to me, I took it as even more of a challenge because I knew people weren't going to think I was going to come back and be the same player.
The 59-yard touchdown catch, again capping a 97-yard drive. Now a first down for Wayne Matkin in Mississippi State. Babineau. Aaron Babineau runs into James Johnson in the Bulldog backfield.
Babineau, I talked about him before, and his asset is his speed, number 38. What he does is he avoids the block of the fullback. Watch the fullback. Here's Babineau, and the fullback, McKinney, tries to block him. Watch him, steps around him. He never sees him. That's that speed. McKinley went to where Babineau was supposed to be, but with his speed, Babineau wasn't there.
A loss of 3, second down and 13. Winding down the first quarter here in Dallas. Toss to James Johnson running left. cutting upfield, picking up a first down as he's knocked out of bounds near the Mississippi State 30, a gain of 14, forced out by Quentin Jammer.
You know, I asked James Johnson, you know, I said, you know, the Heisman Trophy winner on the other side of the field, and, you know, heck, if I'm out there playing, I'm thinking, I want to showcase my stuff. I mean, you've heard so much about him. Watch what he does here. Watch the hesitation. He waits, and then he sees it and it explodes. I mean, he has some nice stuff about him, too.
As you look at his career highlights, only 2 seasons at Mississippi State. It's a JUCO transfer.
You know, he said, Joe, hey, if I'm out there on defense, then, you know, it's a battle against me, against Ricky Williams, but I'm not out there on defense. But, you know, heck, I'd like to think, I always know that when I played the Raiders, Howie Long was over there on the other sidelines, and I wanted to perform to those standards. And I think any play wants to do that.
On first down, play action, Matkin throws to the sideline, and he's picked off Joe Walker. Interception for Texas, and they have it inside the Mississippi State 40. And a nightmarish start for young Wayne Matkin here in the Cotton Bowl.
You know, we talked about the quarterbacks. Watch him right here. Throws the out, but he doesn't throw it out. He needed to throw it over there. And we talked about the young quarterback and quarterbacks, Applewhite and, of course, Matkin. And I think the game, as we talked about, was going to come down, not between the 2 great running backs, but which quarterback is going to play better, because you have to make those throws.
Wayne Matkin has started 1 for 6, gets a belt at the end of that play just to add a little injury to insult. He's thrown for only 8 yards, now an interception. Applewhite with the right back up top. Throw to the far sideline, and it's nearly picked off by Kendall Robertson.
Now, Robertson in his own right. Robertson in his career at Mississippi State has only given up 1 touchdown in his entire career, and that was against Hines Ward of Georgia a year ago. He's a pretty good cornerback. I mean, if you had a catalog of corners and said you probably wouldn't pick him just looking at his body, but he's a pretty good cover guy.
Applewhite disappointed with the throw. A little too much on it. These corners will be tested as Mississippi State stacks up in the middle to try to slow down Ricky Williams. There is Williams.
That's the thing,
and there he is to the 35 to bring up a 3rd down.
See, that's the thing. Now, what Texas is doing is they're changing the structure of Mississippi State's defense. You go deep and you soften them up a little bit. Now you have everybody thinking a little bit. And then you come back and you open up the run, and there it was. You know, you get 4 or 5 yards when they weren't getting those 4 or 5 yards before, because everybody's just coming hell-bent for election right up the gut.
Moving into the wind inside the Mississippi State 35. It's a 3rd down and 6 for Applewhite and the Longhorns. Applewhite puts it up and overthrows McGarity by plenty. And now with 19 seconds left, and the fact that Texas is working into the wind, a bit of a decision here.
Kenwan Smith hopping off the field, and in comes Bert Keys, 50, his replacement. And that's a guy, the nose tackle. We talked about those small linemen. He's 5'11", 235. Now, how many nose tackles can you ever think of for 5'11", 235 pounds? This kid's a battler, though. I mean, he gets after centers that are 320 pounds plus, and he uses his quickness and his arms to shoot the gaps.
So Smith down on the bench. Texas does bring in their place kicker, Chris Stockton, but he's in punt formation. He will try to pooch it down near the Mississippi State goal line, and before the play, flags and whistles. Pretty good effort there, but it won't count. We'll check the flag. Again, Dan Blum is our referee. And now Jackie Sherrill wants an explanation as to exactly what just happened.
Well, the flag was thrown by the field judge all the way in the back.
Dead ball. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
So a delay of game call against Texas. The play clock is apparently malfunctioning.
That's what Jackie
cost
was
him 5
pointing at
yards
down on the field.
There's a look at the play clock from the field. Up in the fog as Stockton punts it again. Aiming for that goal line. The fair catch called for and taken on the 5-yard line by Anthony Derricks. Derricks not usually back there. Prentice typically is, but he's injured, and Derricks makes a bad decision.
He didn't know what to do. He should have let that go and let that roll into the end zone and then come back out at the 20.
We'll tell you to log on to foxsports.com and take part in the Ask the Teams question, brought to you by Southwestern Bell Internet Services. That's on the internet at foxsports.com. A 34-yard punt. We take you back down to the Mississippi State side and Ron Pitts.
Yeah, nose guard Kenwan Smith hurt the right ankle. He's also going in for an X-ray, Joe. I'll send it back up to you when I know some more.
All right, Ron. From their own 5. And the handoff to James Johnson running left. He meets the cornerback Joe Walker, who with help throws him backward after a gain of just 2. That will be the final play of the first quarter here at the Cotton Bowl. The score, Texas 7, Mississippi State nothing. We'll continue here in Dallas after these words.
Coverage of the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic is brought to you by Southwestern Bell. Southwestern Bell is your friendly neighborhood global communications company. By the U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin. By Dell Computers, direct computer solutions for business, at home, and around the world. Be direct, Dell. And by First Union, your guide to the financial world.
Welcome back, folks, to the Cotton Bowl, better known as the house that Doak built. They have his number 37 painted. 2 different spots on the field here at the Cotton Bowl. Say that Walker was the Michael Jordan of his day would definitely not be an overstatement. He was at the top of his game as a player, and in the public eye, he was huge, a wonderful person, gracing the covers of numerous magazines. We mentioned that this stadium had to be expanded 2 different times to accommodate his popularity. You look at Ricky Williams, who forged a friendship with Doak Walker. Doak Walker, who passed away this past year during the fall after a tragic skiing accident, was actually in the hospital on the phone when he was inducted into the Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. And he is very much in the mind of Ricky Williams here this afternoon. The toss to the right side. James Johnson has the first down and breaks into the open field. Babineau trips him up to save the touchdown. Wow. A 36-yard pickup, and exactly what the Bulldogs needed from James Johnson.
Look at the guys up front. Cap, Thomas, Allen. Watch this here. Here's the block right there that sets the whole thing up. They get Humphreys turned around right here. Look at that seam. Then it's just speed. And so much speed that then we carry our guy again. They get that wall out there, and there's some pretty good offensive linemen. Randy Thomas is probably going to be a first, second-round draft pick. Anthony Cap, number 78, to tackle, and Reggie Kelly's going to be a high draft choice as well. The tight end. I got that block.
On first down, this is a give to one of the backup running backs, Chris Rainey. He tiptoes for a yard and a half, maybe 2 to the 45-yard line. Quentin Jammer brought him down after a gain of 2. If you've just joined us, the defenses both starred early. And then we saw a beautiful completion for Texas from Major Applewhite to Wayne McGarity, a 59-yard touchdown throw for the first points of the day. A punt right at the end of the first quarter by Texas, and now here comes Mississippi State, thanks in large part to a 36-yard run moments ago from James Johnson. Down by 7. Second down and 8. McGarity throws, and the pass is caught by Lahisha Grant. That's only his second catch of the entire season. He had one during the regular year, and now here in the Cotton Bowl, he picks up a first down for the Bulldogs.
What you have there is somebody was over on the sidelines talking to this youngster right here. Talking to him and saying, look, settle down, take what's there. Just relax. It's a big game, but the plays are there. Just make them.
First down and 10 after the gain of 12 on the completion to Grant. James Johnson right up the middle and not much. who was right in the middle, Dusty Renfro. Let's go back down to Ron Pitts for a Kevin Prentice update. Ron.
Joe, I just talked to Kevin Prentice. He's in a lot of pain, could hardly keep his head up. He said he would be reevaluated at halftime. I asked him if he thought he could go. He said he would try to go, but he's in an awful lot of pain. Back up to you, Joe.
All right, Ron, and that is a major loss. Probably you would have to consider, outside of James Johnson, the #1 weapon for Mississippi State.
Well, he's their downfield threat, and you take away that downfield threat, and then you can stack the guys in the box for Johnson.
2nd down and 8. Madkin airs it out, has a man Grant, and it's broken up by Joe Walker. What a play. That had 6 written all over it.
Nice play by Walker, the young sophomore. You know, he missed all of spring practice, Walker. See him turn around, and then he keeps his feet and closes on the ball, playing the ball. He missed all of spring practice. He's just a young guy, and only a sophomore. When you miss your spring practice, you're lacking in technique. And this month they've had off from their last game till now, that's what they worked with Joe Walker on, all his technique as a corner. And as Ronnie Pitts will tell you, it's all in the footwork.
Now 3rd down and 8. Blitz coming. Mississippi State trying to dump it off, and that play is broken up by Aaron Humphrey. Trying to set up a screen to James Johnson, and Humphrey was there to knock it away.
And if Humphrey wasn't there to knock it away, that thing was gone. Because most of the defenders for Texas were in the backfield. Watch all the push. Everybody's upfield. Humphrey's actually looking inside, and then he reacts to the ball late. But see, all the orange are up back in the backfield back there. See them? And everybody down here is blocked.
You look at Aaron Humphrey from Lubbock, Texas. And now again, it's Matt Wyatt, one of the backup quarterbacks, backing up to punt.
It's away, it's away.
Wyatt with the effort, and the fair catch called for by Hodges Mitchell. Texas will have the ball resting at their own 13. They have a 7-point lead. 2nd quarter, Cotton Bowl. Folks, we take a look back at 1969. Tennessee facing Texas in the 1969 Cotton Bowl Classic. Texas head coach Darrell Royal unveiled the wishbone to the nation that year. The New Year's Day quarterback James Strait ran the offense to perfection. Fullback option to Steve Worcester provided the first score, and then it was the pitch to Chris Gilbert. Texas rolled up 279 rushing yards that day in a 36-13 victory. We will hear more about Darrell Royal at halftime with Suzy KOLBER as Ricky Williams tries the right side, gets to the 15, and that is all. He was knocked down by Kevin SLUDER, a gain of only 2.
And this year's offense for Texas is the best offense in Texas history since 1969. And I think a lot of that has to do with Applewhite. Like we talked about earlier, last year Texas team had Ricky Williams. They didn't have Applewhite. And you have 9 straight 200-yard passing games in there, plus all those yards that Ricky Williams piles up. You can see why that offense is so good.
Some wonder what it will be like next year, though, when some of the secondary and opposing defenses has help in stopping the pass as opposed to focusing on Ricky Williams in the run. This is Ricky Williams on the pass, where he is met and dropped by Tim Nelson. A nice play, a gain of only 4, where it's now 3rd and 4. There's Kenwan Smith and his right ankle with a pack of ice on that ankle, and that's the man who anchors the front of the defense right in the middle for Mississippi State.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do. You know, you get your guy out of there that's really your fire plug that helps blow things up and creates the problems for the offensive line.
Texas has started 4 of their drives so far in this game at their own 20 or worse, including this one. 3rd down and 4, over the middle, a first down catch by the tight end Derek Lewis. Baron Simpson made the stop, a gain of 11.
You know what, we talked about Kenwan Smith being out. Watch the middle. There's no push right in the middle right here. And there's that passing lane, and that's where Smith would be. And that's where he gets that push. See, watch right here, and there's no push, and you get the middle. See that middle? Look at that passing lane right there. And that's where Smith would be, and that's where he's effective. He uses that leverage of his small body and his speed to get past the defender.
First down and 10 for Texas. They lead by 7. Ricky Williams over the right side. He is met by Bert Keys. And as he falls forward, he gains 2.
And that was Keys. Again, 50, who was in there. And sometimes, you know, you luck into some things. You're out there and you're playing against that big, huge offensive line and a Heisman Trophy running back. Look at him trade in there.
So now second down and 8. Pass is complete. Cavill is tripped up. Kwame Cavill had a wide open field in front of him until John Hilliard tripped him up. And with Cavill's speed, that may have been a touchdown-saving trip.
Just catches that ankle. That's what they term a shoelace tackle.
You got it. You know, the shoelaces are not exposed because of the tape.
What's a tape tackle?
It's a tape tackle. And now a first down for Texas as they continue to, after starting pinned near their own end zone, move the ball down the field. That's Nunez in motion as Applewhite is hit as he throws incomplete. The tight end, Derek Lewis, the intended receiver. With 9:55 remaining here in the first half of the 63rd annual Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic. Take a look at our game summary brought to you by Southwestern Bell Data Network Services. So far, McGarity, the 59-yard touchdown catch. Ricky Williams has 41 yards on the ground. And Johnson, James Johnson, 73 yards, including one 36-yard scamper. But no points for the Bulldogs. Delayed handoff, Ricky Williams. Tripped, falls forward, gets to the 47, a gain of 5. It's now 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and then that passing game, or at least the attempts downfield by Applewhite, have softened up the pressure of the Mississippi State Bulldogs defense. And they're not coming at the rate they were coming before. They opened up the game. They were coming on run. They were coming on pass. It didn't matter. They were shooting gaps and trying to blow things up, leaving man coverage outside. Now they've become a little bit timid. When you take those shots downfield, that'll soften you up and bring you out of that aggressive mode.
Which is exactly what Texas wants with a weapon like Williams. Time to throw. That pass was tipped just a bit. SLUDER was in the face of Applewhite, and it's time for Texas to punt.
And now they have to be selective. And Joe Lee Dunn chose at 3rd and 5 that they're going to come after him, and they did that.
So Texas with a couple of first downs on that drive, but having to punt now is Ryan Long. Will punt it to DeCenzo Miller. As we see another imposter, so to speak, for Kevin Prentice, who is out injured. And they are desperately trying to fill those big shoes on a little man. Punter is hit as he punted it away. No flag, and Miller is rocked at the 25-yard line by Michael Bodoin. A 33-yard punt, just a 5-yard return. Mississippi State's ball down by 7. Well, there you go. The score, 7-0 Texas, and the two mascots. Bevo on your left. Bully the Bulldog on your right.
Well, that's Bevo 13. This is Bevo 13. And what do you think these two guys are going to do if Bevo decides he wants to take off? I mean, do you think? Look at what he's got. He's holding it. It's like he's
this is not the time to show Bevo.
Bevo, well, he doesn't have to go far when he gets to go.
Those two guys are on scholarship. They better be ready. That thing takes off. They're not there for nothing.
Do you need a doormat?
I don't know. It's wet down there. I'll say. 1st and 10 from their own 25.
Bevo had stage fright.
Wayne Madkin, who was just 2 for 9 to start this game, goes to Reggie Kelly, his tight end. A little move to the sideline and a pickup of 9. Reggie Kelly eventually forced out of bounds by Aaron Humphrey. Let's take you down to the Texas sideline and Suzy KOLBER.
Joe, Dusty Renfro, number 60, middle linebacker, is a senior. He is the defensive leader. He is wearing 60 today instead of his usual number, 46, in honor of former defensive coordinator Mike Campbell, who recently passed away. 60 because it represents the best at the linebacker position.
They have had some good ones wear number 60 in Texas history. 2nd down and 1 and a first down carry. They give it to the fullback, Dennis McKinley.
Well, that number 60 worn by Tommy Nobis and Britt Hager. Probably the most popular, the most popular number in Texas history, number 60.
The big right guard, Randy Thomas, checks out of the lineup holding that right hand, who has made headlines here in Dallas for what he ate the other night at the steakhouse.
You talk about impressive. Randy Thomas set a new all-time standard for me. He raised the bar on impressive.
First down and 10 is James Johnson. To the left side, McCowan eventually knocked him down. Babineau helped out on that side, and a gain of 3. He was working on his 8th steak when they kicked him out of the steakhouse.
Well, you may call it work, but for Randy Thomas, it's nothing but pleasure. And Lowry's down here. They get together and they bring their teams in and they let them eat all the steak they want. This big fella ate 8 16-ounce prime ribs, and then they told him he couldn't eat any more. He was eating his 8th one, and they said, that's it, no more. And he's a legend down in Starkville because all the all-you-can-eat buffets, he's not allowed in. They got a picture of him with a cross through it on the windows. You're not allowed in, Randy. You break us. That's impressive to me. You want impressive? That's impressive.
2nd down and 7. Pressure. Babineau. Matkin gets away, throws it away. And good work there by the redshirt freshman quarterback Wayne Matkin to avoid a major loss as Babineau came flying in from the corner.
Now, Babineau makes some stuff happen. You know, we've called his name a bunch today. And it's all relative to one thing, and that's his speed and quickness. I've seen him flying around downfield. He's in the backfield. He's chasing the quarterbacks. He's running down plays from the backside. And then when Johnson was about to break one and take it to the end zone, he comes out of nowhere with the angle and tackles Johnson.
Just 3 out of 11 is Wayne Matkin. He has thrown 1 pick. Only 29 yards to his credit in his first bowl game. 3rd down for Mississippi State. The throw out of the reach.
See, for Mississippi State, that's been the problem. They have the chance to make plays in the passing game, and the quarterback isn't making it.
Matt Butler, the intended receiver. Tony Holmes defending in time for the Bulldogs to punt. Jeff Walker will punt it away for Mississippi State with Hodges Mitchell waiting deep for Texas. Longhorns will get it back. They lead by 7. 7:34 remaining in the first half. Beautiful punt. Beautiful punt. Over the head of Mitchell, and it trickles into the end zone for the touchback. A 60-yard punt from Jeff Walker, but about 3 yards too long. We'll give you our Aflac trivia question. How many Heisman Trophy winners have played in the Cotton Bowl in the same season they won the award? We'll give you the answer when we come back. Welcome back to Dallas, Texas. Once again, today's Aflac trivia question is, how many Heisman Trophy winners have played in the Cotton Bowl in the same season they won the award? The answer, 7. We start Doak Walker. We move to Roger Staubach. 1963, Earl Campbell. 1977, Doug Flutie, who now is leading the Buffalo Bills. We'll see him this weekend. Bo Jackson, Tim Brown, and of course, Ricky Williams, the 1998 winner.
See, that could be a trick question.
I know, and it's so
season, because if you said in the same year, there'd be 0, because the Cotton Bowl is always on January 1st. That would be a new year.
You are brilliant. First down for Texas. Applewhite, delayed handoff. Ricky Williams, a lot of open field, breaking tackles, crossing the 35, knocked down at the 39 by Robert Bean.
You know, you watch the game and you see the big running back and you see him make the plays. But watch the unheralded guys. Watch number 44 right here, Ricky Brown. He takes out Barron Simpson, and that opens the whole thing up. Because you have to have guys around you. You're really not any good without help. And that's the block right there. And a lineman downfield, Octavius Bishop, and all of them together. So, yeah, the team gets involved in the yards, and the team gets involved in that Heisman chase.
1st and 10 from the 39. Applewhite steps up, finds Ricky Williams. He made 18 moves, gets a first down into Mississippi State territory.
Pick your poison. That's the thing when you're a defender. What's he going to give you? Is he going to run you over, or is he going to just jump around you? You have to be very careful when you go up to tackle this guy. And when you get a piece of him, you have to make sure you hang on, because he's got enough in him, as we talked about. Right here, boom, boom, and there's the move. You can't dance with a guy. You have to run through him. When he stops there, don't stop your feet. Go through him, and then just hang on.
Ricky has 65 yards on the ground, 25 through the air, so 90 total yards. Add to it, Ricky Williams inside the 45, brought down by Larry Campbell, knocked down at the 43, a gain of 7. Let's take you down to the Mississippi State sideline and Ron Pitts.
Well, Bill Moss alluded a couple series ago to the fact that Mississippi State may have called off the Dogs, and rightfully so. After they got stung on that big pass play, they're starting to play a little soft. That's why you're starting to see more of Ricky Williams. Their whole thing the last couple series has been just hang in there, hang in there. Now Ricky Williams is starting to get to him. Back up to you, Joe.
All right, Ron, 2nd down and 3 for Texas as they give to the fullback, Ricky Brown. A penalty flag on the play after Brown picked up the first down. Tim Nelson with a tackle for Mississippi State, and we'll check the marker.
I think that's going to be a holding call, and I think they're going to get Russell Gaskamp, the center up front, right in the middle of things. He pulled down Bert Keys. And Gaskamp was a guy who missed all last year with a back injury. You talk about the success of some of the turnaround on this offense and how good this team's become. I think Gaskamp had a lot to do with it, too. He's really solidified that line. He's had a nice season, and here he is. He has a handful of Bert Keys, and then that arm back here. Heck, that's a pretty good block. In the NFL, that's common. That's everyday stuff.
Gaskamp talked about the bad back, and he said the worst part was the rehab, because to rehab a bad back, you have to get into the swimming pool. And he had to get into the Texas swimming pool along with the Texas swim team, and they were all, you know, cut up bodies with wearing Speedos. And he said, here I am walking in just scaring the heck out of everybody around the pool.
But that thing kept him afloat right there. You got the spare tire going, and you jump in the pool with a spare tire, you're not going to sink. That's a good thing.
2nd down and 13. Major Applewhite to throw. That's McGarity. Breaks a tackle, gets the first down, looking for his 2nd touchdown. McGarity. Touchdown, Texas.
More than one missed tackle on that play. Wayne McGarity, his speed, yards after catch. I mean, heck, how many yards after the catch do you think he has already? He catches the ball in midfield, and he's gone.
And what you're also seeing very quietly, along with McGarity and Ricky Williams, is Major Applewhite, a redshirt freshman, step up in a Cotton Bowl and deliver for the Texas Longhorns as Chris Stockton will try to tack on the extra point. A little confusion before the snap as Mississippi State contends that the ball was being moved around before the snap.
Joe, you mentioned Applewhite, and for that part, Madkin, too. What an experience for freshmen as a quarterback to come in here and play in the Cotton Bowl. Applewhite guiding this team, has guided them all year, and I think all those camps he talked about, he went to 19 camps or whatever he went as a prep high school player. Those things are paying off because now he's here, and the game and this crowd and all the things around it aren't above him.
Bad snap, good kick. McGarity's done it again. This one 52 yards from Major Applewhite, and the Longhorns with a 14-point lead.
Here's McGarity down here at the bottom of the screen, and what happens here is Kendall Robertson closes on the tackle. You're going to see this come out right here, and then he's going to stop. He's going to run 5, 6, 7, turn around, and then the missed tackle, and sliding right down him. And we're seeing a lot of that. Now, it's been raining here all night, and the field's wet, and I think the players of the jerseys and the pants are just soaked. I've seen it on Ricky Williams several times, on Johnson, the running back, several times. The players are wrapping up and just actually sliding right down the body.
Chris Stockton will kick it away for the Longhorns. With Prather and Love back deep. This is Love from the 5. This is what Mississippi State needs. Kelvin Love, the kicker. Stockton forced him out of bounds as he crossed the Mississippi State 45, got to the 49-yard line. Just shy of midfield, Kelvin Love. Sunday, the road to Super Bowl 33 on Fox, right here on Fox.
And then you get the whole pregame show before that. And heck, I don't know if there's a better matchup as far as the playoff games go than that game right there.
I would have to agree with that. After a 44-yard kick return from Kelvin Love, James Johnson right up the middle. He gets to the Texas 44, picked up 7. And let's go down to Suzy KOLBER. Suzy?
Joe, I'm standing right behind McGarity and Gabriel, who just teamed up for that touchdown. McGarity said he's having a dream day, and Gabriel turned around and said to me, every time they blitz, we're going to make them pay. Back up to you.
Well, he has made him pay. McGarity has. He has just 2 catches, Suzy, but one a 59-yard touchdown catch, the other a 52-yard touchdown catch. So 111 yards, and now as Mississippi State lines up, they bring in Matt Wyatt at quarterback. James Johnson the toss. James Johnson breaking tackles and getting down to the Texas 27. Dusty Renfro there to bring him down after a gain of 17. And the Bulldogs are going with Wyatt instead of Madkin.
That's the thing right there, is the quarterback Wyatt is in there, and that's because what we've seen out of Madkin. There's a block down there by Cooper on Walker that gets the extra yardage downfield. Renfro on the tackle, but they changed quarterbacks because of the way Madkin has performed. You see the numbers, the interception, but what you don't see there are all the overthrown passes and underthrown passes that could have resulted in big plays and points for the Bulldogs.
A first down carry for James Johnson.
All right.
He is down to the Texas 23. Dusty Renfro again, along with Cedric Woodard. And there's Matt Wyatt this season.
He started 3 games for him.
They just removed him after the 3rd game, game 4, against South Carolina.
Well, you know, when you have a senior coming in and you have that guy that has the poise and the confidence, he's been around it enough to know he's had enough experience playing the position that's the kind of confidence that you need right now today that they weren't getting from Madkin.
2nd down and 6. James Johnson has been busy. Nice tackle on this near sideline by Quentin Jammer as he brought him down. A pickup of only 1. 3rd down coming up.
There's Jammer right here. Watch him come up and fill. And that's what you're able to do right now. Do you see all the bodies up by the line of scrimmage? When you have your safeties up there in the line of scrimmage, you're not threatened downfield by the passing game. And rightfully so. You've changed quarterbacks, and you lose your #1 receiver in Prentice.
This is the deepest Mississippi State has been inside Texas territory all game. The throw is behind the tight end McCaskey. McCowan was defending, and there's Wyatt missing a wide open big target.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be able to miss Reggie Kelly. Not at 6'5", 250 pounds. McCaskey, rather. He's even bigger, 6'6". And there he is, and he throws the ball behind him, back here instead of over here.
The first throw from Wyatt, an incomplete pass, and now Brian Hazelwood will try to put points on the board with Rob Morgan, another backup quarterback, holding. This will be a 39-yard try. Hazelwood has the leg and has the field goal. The 39-yard try is good from Hazelwood. 15 of 24 during the regular season. Mississippi State on the board, down by 11. The Bulldogs are on the board. They're down 14-3. We take a look back to 1941. Mississippi State's last major bowl victory came way back in the Orange Bowl in 41. Coach Alan McKean was led by a rock-solid defense anchored by All-American end Buddy Elrod. Elrod accepted the trophy after the 14-7 victory over Georgetown. They're down by 11. Coach Jackie Sherrill trying to pump up the troops. And this Mississippi State kickoff team gets ready behind the leg of Jeff Walker with Jones and Nunez back deep for Texas. Walker, a strong leg, kicks it. This is Jones from inside the 5. Jeremy Jones busting it to the outside, getting to the 36. A 32-yard return from Jeremy Jones. Well, folks, coming up at halftime of this Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have a preview of Sunday's wild card game between the Packers and the 49ers. We'll have bowl highlights, a look at Texas and legendary head coach Darrell Royal. Plus, we'll see both schools' bands. That's all coming up at halftime.
This is Texas's best starting field position. They've been backed up usually. They started to 20 and they're 13 and they're 3. Went 97 from that 3, but we've got a shorter field if that's possible.
And there's a look at Major Applewhite. We've already talked about the quarterback camps. He went to the Manning quarterback camp, and the coaches there called him Little Peyton. First down for Texas, and the give to Ricky Williams. From the backside, Edward Smith piled on the back of Ricky Williams as he picked up 3.
And Applewhite, you know, 19 years old, and you're talking about the experience that he has, and a lot of upside to this kid. 9 of 15, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns already in his first season, his first big bowl game. 19 years old, and Joe, he looks like he's about 12.
Part of this balanced offense, which has Ricky Williams picking up most of the headlines. Applewhite to put it up. The throw on the slant, and it's behind McGarity. Little post pattern, and the throw behind is Robert Bean was there defending for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and what they're doing is every time that they see Mississippi State blitzing the line of scrimmage, like SUZY was telling us about, they are checking to the slants and the deep balls. Ricky Williams picking up the blitz right there.
And you're looking at the former fullback Ricky Williams with those big calves. Major Applewhite with a blitz coming, throws and completes it to McGarity. And Applewhite calls the timeout with 1:34 remaining in the first half, and he took a shot from Tim Nelson.
You know, that's what we're talking about. You're talking about the composure. The difference in this game has been the quarterback and the play of the quarterbacks. Watch right here. He's in the face of pressure. He knows he's going to take a shot. He stands in there and delivers the ball on the slant, knowing he's going to get hit. And look at it, right on the money, too, right where the ball should be.
So McGarity with his 3rd reception of this first half. Well, we talk about a balanced offense. Let's hear it from Major Applewhite before this game.
You really can't commit that many people to the run because Wayne and Kwame and Derek Lewis will hurt you. I mean, they'll hurt you, and they've proven that they'll beat you deep. So you have to respect both sides of the coin in our passing game as well as our running game. So you know, there's really not a whole lot you can do as a defense except just try to play it straight up and hope that your athletes are better than I think.
Well, he can talk about Kwame and Derek and Wayne, but they can beat you deep. But they can't do a thing with it unless you get the ball to them, and that's what Major has been able to do today.
The 2 touchdown throws to Wayne McGarity, one a 59-yarder, one a 52-yarder. Major Applewhite 10 out of 17 for 172 yards, plus those 2 touchdowns. And we'll keep an eye on McGarity. The ball just inside Mississippi State territory at their 49. 1:36 left. Texas with a ball and 2 timeouts. The throw to Nunez. Trying to set up a screen, and he's brought down by Ashley Cooper behind the line of scrimmage. And the clock continues to run. A loss of 9, 2nd down and 19 for the Longhorns. From the shotgun, Major Applewhite trying to get more points before the end of the half. All day to stand back there, and now to the far sideline, and Ricky Williams let in too much. Really wasn't much there anyway, as Ashley Cooper was out there with Ricky Williams, and now 3rd and 19.
Yeah, good coverage downfield. That time they were in a zone defense, and they sat back there and had everybody covered deep. Applewhite had all the time in the world. The pressure wasn't there, but as the pocket closed, he was forced to get rid of the ball.
So now 3rd and 19. Each side with 2 timeouts remaining, in case you're wondering about Mississippi State getting it back and trying to work it down the field. Applewhite again from the shotgun. Down the middle of the field, wide open, incomplete. Kwame Cavill off his hand. Robert Bean the closest one to him, but Applewhite missed on that one.
Yeah, a little high that time.
So now 54 seconds remaining, and depending on the punt, depending on the return, Mississippi State can be thinking points before the end of the half.
And as you mentioned, Joe, with 2 timeouts left, and they've been fairly exciting in their punt return and kick returning game, but Prentice is out.
Punt from Long just got it away, and DeCenzo Miller
they're going to have
back deep, and there is a penalty flag on the play as DeCenzo Miller fights to the 31, and there is a flag down on the field as Long was run into.
Yeah, you're going to have running into the punter, the kicker here, and that's what the call is. Take a look to the right of your screen right here. The punt's away, and you got to stop. You've got to stop right there.
Another look at the punt by Ryan Long.
George Whitta. And if you're wondering how come you didn't even call roughing last time, the difference between the two was the punt snap was on the ground last time. It rolled back to him, and you're able to run into him or hit the punter because he's fielding a ball that was on the ground.
And because it wasn't roughing the kicker and it was running into the kicker, it's just the 5-yard penalty, and because of that, it is declined, and Mississippi State has the ball at their own 31 with 43 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts. Matt Wyatt is at quarterback in the shotgun, again replacing the starter, Wayne Madkin. So despite the penalty flag, Mississippi State has it.
1st down 10 from the 31.
And now Wyatt will try to bring the Bulldogs down the field. That's Cooper, making all kinds of moves, brought down 2 yards short of a first down, and a timeout will be called for by Mississippi State. They're left with 1. The clock will stop on first downs, but Cooper was brought down short of it. Now Mississippi State has just 1 timeout remaining.
And that actually cost them about 3 seconds because they were looking upfield to see if they got the first down before they signaled timeout.
So Matt Wyatt over to talk to Jackie Sherrill, and really for the first time since you and I walked into this Cotton Bowl around 8 o'clock this morning, this place is a little quiet right now.
Well, it's getting around concession time.
It is.
You know, and in Texas, the Longhorn fans, they think they've got a nice, comfortable lead, and they're just going to look on before they go to lunch. It's 11:45 down here.
And by the way, all you people at home that are just rolling out of the sack, just getting out of bed and tuning us in, it's about time you start your day and begin 1999. And we're glad that you picked Fox and joined us here at the Cotton Bowl. These guys came early. I'm not sure that they slept.
It's not early. Yeah, it's late. It's actually late for them. See, they stay up all night. When you show up in the rain and the fog and 43 degrees with no shirt and your chest painted on New Year's Day, chances are you're up all night.
The one bit of good news is the fog has lifted from this stadium. As you look at a 2nd and 1 play, a long one for Mississippi State. Wyatt a bit indecisive. Now he has Grant wide open.
Get out of
bounds. First down will stop the clock inside the Texas 35. So he did not need to get out of bounds. He just gets the first down, which is good enough. And now with 21 seconds remaining, Mississippi State has it inside the Texas 35.
I went back to the NFL.
You did, just for a moment.
That's exactly
NFL
right.
flash.
First down stopped so they can move the chains all the way down in college.
And that allows the team to get set. They start the clock now. As Wyatt throws to the sideline, gets Cooper, and he gets to the first down marker and out of bounds. It's going to stop either way, and now with 10 seconds remaining, we'll see the spot, and it looks like it's a good spot for Mississippi State. Although the referee, Dan Blum, is going to go over and check it and rule it a first down. Just by the nose of the football. A fresh set of downs for Mississippi State, but only 10 seconds remaining. They can take a shot at the end zone if they wish, or something shorter.
Right, you know, if you want 3 points, too, don't forget those hash marks. You want that ball in the middle of the field.
First down for Mississippi State. Wyatt spending a lot of time trying to get rid of it, throwing, and incomplete with just 1 second remaining. Wyatt nearly took too long and didn't allow his field goal unit a chance to get out on the field.
You have to manage that clock. He's looking downfield. And they have to call timeout right there because it's
Matt Wyatt is hurt and being helped off the field as Matt Butler couldn't make the catch, and we're going to have an officials timeout now as Wyatt is having a difficult time getting over to the sideline.
Now you have Rob Morgan left on your depth chart.
And he's out there to hold for this field goal attempt by Brian Hazelwood, who has already hit a 39-yarder.
Now for a right-footed kicker way out here, the college hash marks are so wide, and look at the angle he's lined up at. See his angle he's lined up at as a right-footed kicker? He's got a long ways to go on the left hash, but right-footed kickers like to be on the right hash. Now look, do you see the angle here?
So you got to look at the angle. This is a bit into the wind. Wind is blowing from our right to our left. Wyatt will walk off. Take a look at the injury to Matt Wyatt before the kick after Texas just took a timeout.
Now Humphreys gets a piece of him, comes right down on that back of the ankle.
Not only the ankle, then with that wet turf down there. Almost did the splits, and that groin, I'm sure, was tested. So Aaron Humphrey climbed his back. Wyatt moving around a little better now, and after the timeout by Texas, here comes a 41-yard try from Brian Hazelwood. Mooney will snap it. Morgan will hold it. And Hazelwood will try it eventually.
Texas
another timeout called for by Texas, and that is their final timeout.
That's what they call putting the kicker on ice. Let him think about it a little bit.
So while he thinks about it, while you think about it, we'll tell you what's coming up at halftime of the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. We'll have a preview of Sunday's wild card game between the Packers and the 49ers. We'll have bowl highlights, look at Texas and legendary head coach Darrell Royal. Plus we'll see both schools' bands. That's all coming up at the half. Ricky Williams over on that far sideline contemplating the first half, and also, I'm sure, SUZY told us, a young man who grew up dreaming of playing football in college is lining up in the burnt orange, at least with his teammates, for the final time. He will participate in the Hula Bowl, but with this group, this is it. Williams with 75 yards on the ground, 25 through the air, a 100-yard day so far, and now the 41-yard try from Hazelwood. Snap is good, the hold is good, and it's blocked. Blocked by Texas, and that's the way this first half, as the play continues, but that's the way this first half will come to a close. The 41-yard try by Brian Hazelwood is blocked by the Texas Longhorns.
I think it was number 49, Aaron Humphrey, came in there and he got his hand up and got that push and the penetration. He's going to come right through here. Yep, that's number 49, Aaron Humphrey. There's that hand up, the jump, time that jump, and that's so important. When you can only push so far, then you have to time that jump to get the maximum height. And you can see the ball just hit the top of his hand.
So half of this 63rd annual Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl is over. And our score, the Texas Longhorns 14, the Mississippi State Bulldogs 3. We'll return to Dallas for halftime. The Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic after these words from your local Fox station.